Happy Gilmore 2 is now streaming on Netflix, which means you're not confined to watching it on a movie theater schedule. You can watch it at night while you're on your break at work, or at the breakfast table while you eat your pieces of shit. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my review of the long-awaited, at least by me, sequel to Happy Gilmore, which is appropriately called Happy Gilmore 2. It's now streaming on Netflix. That's right, Happy Gilmore is back, 29 years after the original movie helped make Adam Sandler a comedy superstar. Now this may surprise those of you who think that I'm a cynical critic who doesn't know how to have fun and only gets excited over 3-hour-long Oscar bait, but I've always loved the first Happy Gilmore. It's been my favorite Adam Sandler movie since I was a teenager in the 90s. It was a staple. And maybe it's a family thing because I went to see Happy Gilmore, the first one, with my grandmother when it was in theaters, and she was cackling throughout the movie. She especially loved that beat at the end where Chubbs appeared in heaven next to Abe Lincoln and an alligator. I was nervous when I heard that Adam Sandler was making a sequel for Netflix because A, comedy sequels often don't go well, B, Adam Sandler comedy movies often don't go well, and C, Netflix original films often don't go well. There is a nightmare scenario where all three of these things showed up in their worst forms, which would have made this an absolutely atrocious disappointment and an insult to the first movie. But I'm happy to say that we didn't get that, even if Happy Gilmore 2 is unlikely to become an all-time comedy. Adam Sandler returns to play Happy Gilmore, whose golf career has long since peaked. After suffering major hardships, Happy is now broke and living with his family in a modest home, with pro golfer John Daly crashing in his garage. John Daly, by the way, in a movie packed with cameos from golfers, musicians, comedians, podcasters, and Adam Sandler's family, is one of the comedic highlights of this movie. Maybe I'm biased because he's from Arkansas, but it's also fitting because, like Happy Gilmore, his trademark as a pro in the 1990s was his ability to hit the long drive. In order to pay for his daughter to attend ballet school in Paris, Happy decides to revive his long-dead golf career, which of course involves a lot of trial and error and learning how to play the game again. It's the classic sequel breaks the hero down so he can take the same journey again scenario. At least that's the premise for the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie focuses on a new professional golf league called Maxi, a gimmick-filled pro wrestling form of golf that threatens to end traditional golf as we know it. To stop that from happening, Happy teams up with some real-life golfers, including Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler, to save golf from oblivion. It's like Sandler and co-writer Tim Herlihy had two ideas for a sequel and just decided, let's do both. I do have to say, though, that I enjoyed Benny Safdie's performance as the founder of Maxi, Frank Manatee. Uncut Gems is the best Adam Sandler-Safdie team-up, but this is a nice byproduct. Because this is a decades-later sequel, there are, of course, returning characters from the first film, including Julie Bowen as Happy's wife, Virginia Bennett, who's critical to the plot but sadly underused. Christopher McDonald returns as Happy's rival, Shooter McGavin, and he is delightfully unhinged, showing total commitment to this comedic performance. I loved Christopher McDonald in this movie. And Ben Stiller is back as Hal L., the former nursing home orderly who's in a new position of power to antagonize Happy even more. Stiller's the only returning character that didn't really work for me. He doesn't even really seem to be playing the same person that he was in the first movie. This film is about 15 to 20 minutes too long, and sadly I think Stiller could have and probably should have been an easy cut. Every major character from the first movie is referenced in some way, including Chubbs Peterson, who was played by the late, great Carl Weathers. Lavelle Crawford steps in as Chubbs' son Slim, but doesn't really have much to do other than rehash some of the fake hand jokes from the first movie. This movie, frankly, has way too many cameos, but there is one from a music star playing the son of a character in the first movie that won me over. And one of the movie's funniest bits involves a cemetery where seemingly everybody from Happy's past has been laid to rest together. However, most of the cameos for new and returning characters are superfluous at best, especially Travis Kelce as a waiter and a slew of podcasters and YouTubers, though I have to give some respect to Bad Bunny, who really graduates from cameo to supporting role as Happy's caddy and got a lot of laughs from me in the movie. Golf fans will also probably appreciate the pro golfer cameos, and they are numerous, more than I did. The sheer number of PGA stars, past and present, who appear proves that the first Happy Gilmore really is a hit across multiple generations. Adam Sandler's an interesting guy. He's incredibly funny and immensely talented, but he's also content to just kind of chill out and have a good time. A lot of his movies, including this one, feel like excuses to cast his friends and just hang out. And his family's now old enough for him to cast them in supporting roles as well. A lot of Sandler comedies, frankly, felt lazy in the 2000s and 2010s, but recently it seems like he's kicked into a new gear with both his movies and his stand-up comedy. As a guy in his 50s who's beginning to really appreciate and reflect on the success that he's had and the people who've helped him get there. Happy Gilmore 2 is still kind of lazy, but I can't deny that it also has a lot of heart. For the first 20 minutes or so, I was really worried that this was going to be a rough ride. Happy Gilmore 2 gets off to a slow start, while also making some choices that didn't really sit right with me as a fan of the first movie. It felt like kind of a bait and switch. There's an extended sequence where Happy plays a tune-up game with a trio of amateur golfers, including Eric Andre and Margaret Qualley, that goes on way too long, even though it does have a good punchline. And there are some just strange decisions, like using obvious de-aging or deepfakes to show Happy Gilmore hosting Saturday Night Live in the 90s when hours of footage exist of Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live in the 90s. After the first 20 to 30 minutes, though, the movie does kick in a little more. Sandler reteamed with longtime collaborator Tim Herlihy for this film, their first movie as writers together since Hubie Halloween 5 years ago. And Happy Gilmore 2 is at its best when they move on from the cheap gags and cameos to some of the absurdism that I've always loved, especially from Sandler's early comedies. It may be 2025, but I will still laugh at a John Lovitz non sequitur or a surprise Fieri way more than the 20th Happy is old joke. And there's way more of that absurd kind of comedy in the second half of the movie than the first, especially with Shooter McGavin's character. I think if this script had been more focused, a little shorter, and a lot tighter with its comedy beats, then this could have been a movie that compared more favorably to the original. Happy Gilmore 2 is often a hard movie to love, but it's also a hard movie to hate. Sandler's sentimental streak comes through very strongly, and there are some nice tributes to the unfortunately large number of original cast members who have passed away since the first movie. It also does have a lot of laughs, but there are so many jokes that don't work that it waters down the ones that do. Still, I can't say that I disliked my time watching this movie, even if I doubt that I'll watch it anywhere near the number of times that I've watched the first film. I actually like this era of Adam Sandler, and I'm a big fan of him as a person. I just wish that he would bring a little more focus and effort to his comedies. If he had, I think that this would have been a much more triumphant comeback for both him and Happy Gilmore. On my personal scale, this movie is way too uneven for me to rate it as it's good, so I'm giving it an it's fine, but like a satisfied it's fine. The kind of it's fine that you might feel watching a kid's dance recital and just being happy that everyone's having a good time. But what did you think? Did you enjoy this sequel? Did it live up to your expectations? And do you, for some reason, have a craving for a delicious foot-long Subway sandwich? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to stay tuned right here for the latest in movie news, reviews, box office, and more. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.